Welcome back. It's day one of North Mississippi Spotlight. I'm your host, Gary Darby. Thanks for being with us all around North Mississippi, and very excited to talk to this man, School Superintendent DeSoto County. Cory Uselton's going to join us, and I know it's a busy time for you. School is underway. You've had a week or so under your belt, but I do appreciate your time this morning and being with us on the first show.
Well, I appreciate you inviting me to be on the show. It's an honor to be on the first one.
Let's discuss this because I have a home in Olive Branch. My house is in the DeSoto Central School District, so I'm very familiar with the way everything is growing in that county. And so I would imagine that you, in that fastest-growing county, have one of the fastest-growing school systems you're trying to deal with as well, huh?
We do. DeSoto County Schools became the largest school district in the state, the largest enrollment just a few years ago, surpassing the Jackson Public School District. And the growth hasn't stopped. We're monitoring each day the enrollment numbers since we're at the beginning of the school year, and we're going to be over 33,000 students for this school year.
So first year as a superintendent, you inherit 33,000 students. Overwhelming, or have you been ready? Because I know you started, obviously, coach, you are a teacher, you've moved into the principal's role, and now here you are in charge of so many. How has this first little time for you been as the superintendent?
Well, it's been good. I actually took over the office January 1st, and so came in just like you talked about the basketball part of it, kind of came in at halftime of the ball game almost, and but it's been really neat coming in at the beginning of the school year and getting to start fresh with the beginning of the year and the excitement that goes along with it. But the leadership part of it, having been a coach and having been a principal, I'm used to the leadership role. But at the same time, it is a process when you've got 33,000 students, you've got 42 schools. You've got to make sure that you're out and you're involved in each one of those schools and making sure that they get what they need. So it is different than being the principal of just one school, I'll say that, because you've got the different needs at each of the schools throughout the county.
Cory Uselton's the superintendent of education in DeSoto County. We're talking with him this morning on the Spotlight. I'm a part of Team DCS. I'm in the social media world, so I see everything that comes out on Twitter, watching things on Facebook as well. One of the things that's impressed me is your teachers and the different things that I see from them, the excitement that I see them put in all of the schools, and the response that you're getting from students to some of those things. Social media really driving education these days too, right?
Right, and I'm big into the social media side of it, and I believe that just in our school district there are so many positive things going on in each of the schools, and so we've encouraged our employees and our students to use that hashtag Team DCS, and it allows me to go on there during the day and allows teachers and anybody who wants to see positive stories that are going on. And one of the things that's actually happened for me that's made my job easier is I'm able to see things that are going on out at the schools. And so, when I go to visit that school maybe the next week, I may look into that a little bit more and say, hey, let me see that, what you got going on in your classroom, because they posted that on social media with it. But that Team DCS concept is something that we started in January when I came on board then. Our motto is every student, every employee, every school, Team DCS. And we want every student to know that they're an important part of what we're trying to accomplish. We want every employee, whether it's a teacher, whether it's a bus driver, whether it's somebody who works at the district office, no matter what type of role they may have, we want them to know that they're an important part of our success. And we want every school to know that they're important. We want every school to know that they are vital to the success of our school district.
I think you can see that too. And so for those of you that are listening that are in DeSoto County and really anywhere, maybe other schools can take a little bit from what is going on in DeSoto County in that regard. To that, we mentioned students and parents a little bit, and obviously we all want to know that our little boy, our little girl is safe where they are. So with so many students, as we've talked about, the safety issue, and what does DeSoto County do to do their best to ensure that the little ones and the older ones as they get into the high school world are safe there?
Right. I tell parents all the time, I try to look at every child as if they're my own, and I have two children in the school district myself. I've got one in middle school and one in elementary school, and I tell people every day the number one thing is I want my children to be safe at school, and I look at all 33,000 students through that same lens, and we want to make sure that we have a proactive approach to safety and discipline, and that our schools are safe. We also have a great working relationship with all the municipalities and their law enforcement agencies. We also have a great working relationship with the DeSoto County Sheriff's Department, and we want those school resource officers to be on campus and be visible at as many of the schools as we can throughout the day, not only to take a proactive approach to prevent problems from happening, but also so our law enforcement can build positive relationships with those students as they're coming up through their school years.
So many times the state of Mississippi takes a hit as far as education is concerned, and luckily for those of us that live in this North Mississippi area, the reach of this radio station, there's some great school systems and things to be proud of within the listening area. And I know the graduation rate is something that DeSoto County can really kind of pat themselves on the back for.
Right. We actually had the highest graduation rate in the history of our county this past spring. We were at 89.8%. And that's really, when you start talking about test scores and all the other, the main thing is you want children to graduate from high school. When they come in as kindergartners, at a minimum you want to see them graduate from high school. And so that's a process all the way kindergarten through 12th grade. We want our kindergarten teachers to be able to celebrate that graduation rate because they're a part of it. We want everybody to know, all of Team DCS, that the graduation rate is something that we want to celebrate. And we want everyone to be a part of it. And we're excited about that. Our test scores that we got back for the 14-15 school year, we were very pleased with those. We're also very pleased with our test scores. What we see preliminary for the 2015-16 school year, but we don't have anything official on it yet. But as far as graduation rate is concerned, and we're excited about where it is at 89.8%, but at the same time, until we get to 100% graduation rate, which, that may not be attainable, but until we get to that point, you can never be satisfied because you want to see every single child that comes through the doors. You want them to have that opportunity to walk across the stage with a diploma from DeSoto County School.
DeSoto County School Superintendent Cory Uselton is with us. We're talking about his job in the first year as superintendent. Been there since January, as he said. So, plan from here on out, 5 years, 10 years. What would you like to see the school system in DeSoto County become?
Well, that's something, talking about the 5 and 10-year plan. When I speak at Rotary Club's Chamber of Commerce, I always address that because we want to have a great school year for the 16-17 school year, obviously, but at the same time, I feel as the leader of the school district, we've got to plan long-term also. When you start talking about financial constraints and you start talking about facilities and the growth in DeSoto County, you cannot be short-sighted with that. And so I want to make sure that not only are we one of the top school districts in the state, but that we're one of the top school districts anywhere in the country. We want to be that. And at the same time, I've got to make sure that 5 to 10 years from now that we're financially stable. We've got to be conservative with our spending to make sure that our school district can still offer the great education that we want to down the road. We also have to keep up with our facilities and make sure that we maintain the facilities that we have. If some of those are a little bit older, that we maintain the newer facilities, and that we make sure that we monitor those capacities and those enrollment numbers at all the schools so that we can continue to plan for the future.
One last thing, and then we'll let you get on to your busy day. SuperTalk North Mississippi 93.7 is going to be the home of the Hernando Tigers, part of your district and what you deal with. And so we'll get some football on. I know they're not scheduled to have a game on the 19th, but get started on the 26th. So we'll make an even bigger presence there in DeSoto County.
Yeah, I was excited to hear that. There's a lot of excitement around the county right now as the football season is kicking off. I was glad to hear that the Hernando Tigers will be on your station. I actually coached at Hernando High School. When we moved to DeSoto County in 2001, I was the head boys basketball coach at Hernando, and so I'm very familiar with the town and with the support that they have. And I look forward myself to getting out and watching all 8 of the high schools play. As superintendent, I want to make sure and get out and support all 8 of our teams, and I'm just real excited to see what they accomplish this year.
I guess that's a tough part of the job to try and do as well. The good news is there's so many schools you can you don't have so far to go, at least to try and connect one playing the other, so you can kind of maybe get 2 schools at once really soon with the schedule because of the close proximity of all the schools.
Right. I've looked at the schedule, and there's some nights I'll go out when we got 2 county teams playing, but there'll be other nights I may go out and watch a little bit of 2 or 3 games just to get out. And the main thing there is I may not get to see a lot of each of the games when I do that, but I want each of the schools to know that they're important to me and important to what we're trying to accomplish with DeSoto County Schools.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show today. I look forward to catching up anytime you have something we want to discuss as far as DeSoto County Schools. Remember, this show is Team DCS. We'll do that for you, okay?
That sounds great. I appreciate you inviting me, and anything we can do to ever help y'all, please let us know.
All right. His name is Cory Uselton, folks. That's the Superintendent of Education in DeSoto County, and we thank him for being here. We'll put the wraps on day number 1 right after this. Stick around, some news, events, and things to go. It's North Mississippi Spotlight with Gary Darby and SuperTalk North Mississippi 93.7.